Hey, let me get my camera. There you go. Thank you so much. Let's start over. My name is Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and I am glad that you are here. Thank you, Elena and Louise, for letting me know the sound was turned off. That would have been a disaster. But hey, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to draw a mummy's hand wrapped up in bandages. We're going to hang some bandages down. It should have a very old and aged look to it. I think you're going to like it. I am glad that you're here. Make sure you do like and subscribe to the channel. And that's what we got. So if you are all ready to go, let's jump right into it. So when I draw hands, I always recommend this process. Now, this process is something that I just came up to help me, but I think it's important you could copy it, which that's why I'm teaching it, but it's important, especially when it comes to coming to drawing hands, that you stick with some sort of rhythm or some sort of process. Then you could go a little bit faster and you could get a lot more confident. Okay, so I just want you to think of palms here. I'm going to write this down for you. Let me come over here. Palm, okay, tips, knuckles, K-N-U-C-K-L-E-S, knuckles, and joints. And then details. Now, I also, I do have a class called 20 Hands in 20 Days. And this is the process that we go through. So anyways, just jot these down and just kind of make them your mantra as we go through this. All right. Let me make those a little bit smaller here. I'm just going to put them maybe up here. Okay, so let's start off with a gesture and just hold your pencil by the back end like this. And here we go. We're going to just quickly gesture. We're going to be drawing this picture right up there. Hey, Mr. Happy, what is up? All right, we're going to come right up here and then look at this. I'm going to just kind of gesture this along here. All right. I'm going to move that up a little bit higher here. There we go. All right. So look at that. Just like that, I've kind of got a quick gesture of my hand. Let's kind of go in here just a little bit more marks. Okay. All right, so a couple tips. So let's go through this here. All right, so first of all, let's look at where the palm is. And one tip when you come to drawing hands, you want to make sure you draw in curves. So much of the hand is curves. Look, curves like going right around here like this. You see that? Curves going around the back side. And I think if you could just keep remembering that, you will find to have a little more extra success. So let's go ahead. I'm going to start up here in the wrist here. This is going to take me down to the palm. Okay, let's think 3D here. So that's the palm there. Now the palm is going to curve around. You see that? All right, so we get this palm here that's like this. All right, almost like a big old wedge. That's our palm. Now tips. What I mean by tips is where are the tips of the fingers. So if this is this little mark right here, let me show you on the photo where some of these items are. That's going to be right here. So I want to try and guesstimate where these tips are, all right? Where those tips are in relationship to each other. All right, so I'm going to come out here, come down here. Okay, so first tip, I'm going to put right about there, all right? Next tip is going to be maybe right about in here. Next tip is there. And then the thumb tip is going to be just above that, just a little bit like that. Okay, so we've got our palm, tips. All right, our knuckles. All right. Knuckles are in the back here. And since we can't really see them because the hand is like relatively flat like this, we can just kind of move right in from them and go right to the joints. All right, so here's one joint here, right? Okay, there's another joint right there. Okay, the next set of joints you can't see. All right, here's the next one right there, and right there behind that pinky, behind that finger. So for here, it's going to be right about there. It's going to come up there, okay? Now these joints are almost straight down. Okay, thumb. You got that joint right there. Do you see that? It's right there. Okay, and then now we move into our details. We have all these things. So let's go ahead and jump into the details. Now, here's another little tip. The back of your hand is flat, okay? Usually flat. The more rounded surfaces are on the finger side, on the soft side, because we got pads. Pads help us to grab things on the inside, but then our outside structure of our hand is flat and hard, all right? So here we go. Let's go ahead and bring this line out here, right? And this actually goes all the way to that first knuckle. And let's just kind of walk through this. And now this is important. Now watch this. This is going to have a little bit of a curve there, you see? And then we're going to get another curve like that. And we're going to get a curve like that. All right, jumping down to our next finger. Straight right there, look at that. Curve. curve, curve, just making my way across the hand here. I'm going to give you a couple minutes here. I'll give you at least a minute to get caught up. If you're interested in signing up for my 20 hands in 20 days class, I'll put the link in the description as soon as we're done with this video. What's great about that class is there are 20, I think I have 20 key positions, 20 key hand positions that if you get them all down, that will really help you in drawing the hand in almost any general position. Okay, let's keep going here. Now here's the tip of the thumb, okay, right there. And if I go straight up from that, look, here's a bit of like the gathering of skin right there. You see that in the picture? So it's gonna go like this. All right, that ends up being our pinky. Now this is interesting. This thumb, I want you to think of like the thumb as being flat and then flat. Curve, curve, okay? So look, flat, flat, this is going to go around the corner there. And then we come in with a curve there, but then look really closely here. That skin overlaps, and then that overlaps. Do you see that? Look. Overlap, overlap. Okay, let's finish off down here at the wrist. And there you go. There's the wrist there. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to erase these little marks here. I'm going to make my hand a little bit, you know what I'm going to do? Hold on. I'm going to duplicate that. All right, perfect. All right, time to wrap this, right? So the wrapping part is going to be, we're going to use some of our imagination, but let's first just kind of wrap this tight, like and we're going to use like we're going to use surface lines. So we'll start there, and then maybe a little opening like this. So we're going to curve this around because this is going around the arm. Maybe down here it's a little, this one is maybe a little bit loose. And then in here, when you shadow, put your lines like this on the inside, you see? Another type of J hook there, maybe, right? I put this, notice that I put a little bit of a curve right there, right? And then I'm going to come back here and look at that. See what I just did there? This shows you that the wrapping is going around, and maybe this one is really hanging loose. Okay, we're going to keep going here. So let's put maybe another wrapping right there. And then I think down here I'm going to let one dangle. It's like a nice little S curve. And then I'll put a couple surface lines. Now we have the knuckle here, of course, so we can come in here and kind of make it. My hands are all nice and beefy, but if I was a mummy, I think it would be, you wouldn't see that as much, right? So we're gonna have to make some slight adjustments here to some of these fingers, so they're not as beefy looking, right? So let's see, I put this picture of this this person's fingers there. Maybe, let's see now. In the picture, can you see? Yes, you can see my nails. So let's add like maybe this, maybe there's some strange looking nails. Boy, now I have to remember what some of these bones look like. So there's a thumb bone. It's kind of like this, if I remember. This may not be right, but I think it's something like that. So I'm just kind of adding some concave shapes here. And let's go ahead and add some of this lighting, because the way I lit my hand has a very dramatic effect. So I want you to think of, when you see the photograph, I want you to think of just two tones, kind of a middle tone and then a light tone, all right? And when you go to add tone to this, let's just try and get a real consistent coverage. But be careful to leave where you see light. This is why we use reference. Just slow down, get the light right. There was a long time ago, there's a book by the name of an artist, George Bridgman. And George Bridgman has this book called Book of 100 Hands. And he has essentially 100 hands drawn in that book. So I only brought that up because I went through all 100 hands at one point. Just made it one of my little goals. And really, that is how that's how you learn, by taking a class, watching a video, or back in the day when I was learning, of course YouTube wasn't available. So a lot of my learning came from just finding a good book and then copying the pictures from it. Now look at this. Here are the wrappings. The wrappings around this mummy, they're going to be a little bit lighter in value. So I'm going to make sure that the hand here is going to be darker than the wrappings. And since the light is coming from the bottom, I want to make sure that it's the bottom that is getting lit. And one more trick I want to show you here. Let's just say, and it's the idea. It's using the idea called a core shadow. A core shadow. What's a core shadow? A core shadow is if you draw yourself a cylinder. All right, and let's say we're going to put light coming from the bottom, just like our picture here. So that means the top is going to be in shadow like this, because the light is coming from below, right? It's coming from below. Well, a core shadow is you end up adding a little bit more darker edge right there. And this is caused typically by reflective light. So if we come in here to our bandages and just add that little core shadow here, we will really give an illusion that this is very round. And you could even add that core shadow just a couple different areas of these hands here. Okay, I think that's going to do it for today. Let me just anything else I want to add to this here? A little bit maybe tone back here. All right, that's going to be our mummy hand. So I do thank you for all tuning in. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Add a like and let me know what you think, okay? Tell me in the comments, do you like tricks or do you like treats? Or what your favorite candy is. Hey, thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great Saturday, okay? Check out our Facebook group. It's an excellent group of community. Sign up for one of the classes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Go out there. Make your day great. Bye-bye.